G'day guys, Scott Wagstaff, General Manager here at Carbrook Golf Club, and today I just wanted to share with you an interview that I did just recently with Tony Di Tommaso. Tony's been our head professional here for 30 years, starting on the 19th of March 1991, took over from a professional called Barry Humphrey. Tony's been an outstanding asset to our club. There's not many tenures of 30 years at a golf club, and as the world moves forward, I doubt we'll see this very often at all in the future. So I took an opportunity to catch up with Tony and ask him a few questions about his time over the last 30 years. So, what was your most prized golfing achievement?
Probably the four highlights of my career, in no particular order, would be winning the Queensland Junior Championship, and then from there progressing into the Queensland stateside as an amateur golfer, then moving from there into the professional ranks, being awarded the Australian Trainee of the Year, and then once I did play some events, winning a number of Pro-Ams on the Queensland Sunshine Circuit. Those four are probably the most exciting.
Who were some of your state team members in the Queensland team?
Peter Senior, Ozzie Moore, a couple of probably the most prominent names, along with Mark Nash, Mark Tickler, who won a Queensland Amateur. So,
when you look back at the last 30 years, is there one achievement that you are most proud of?
the fact of my longevity at the Carbrook Golf Club, and the fact that when I began in 1991, was able to be part of the course design team, and very proud of the golf course that we built here. I was heavily involved with the design and profile of the golf course, and how it's turned out into such a strong championship 18 holes now that's held some big golf tournaments throughout its history.
So having been here for such a long period of time, how has the club changed over the last 30 years?
In my time here, the club has not lost its atmosphere from day one through to now. The one major attraction that this club has had is its friendliness, its openness, its engagement with people, making a fun place to be. As a whole, most people have a great time here. As the club has evolved, it's become a more professional, more business-like environment. We have so many more members now that we have to cater for in different categories, and being part of that growth of the club and watching it become a more professional and business-like run facility, but still having not lost its friendliness, its touch of comradeship and good times. That's what I most feel like has happened at this club over that period of time.
So there's many members that wouldn't know that you were a pretty accomplished runner. So just tell us a little bit about your running.
When I finished my apprenticeship at Brisbane Golf Club in 1986, I was quite a bit heavier, so I needed to be more of a professional athlete as long as being a professional golfer. So I just started fun running for fun and fitness, and as I progressed through some fun runs and improved times, then involved into doing some half marathons, 15Ks, did a lot of them just for fun runs and pleasure, and then got fitter, got excited about it, decided to do one marathon just to test what it's like to run 42 kilometres. We sort of broke 3 hours on debut, which is a pretty strong effort, and from there I progressed into a more serious engagement with it that led to running a 2-hour 42 marathon, which placed me second in the state championships, and also got me a position in the Sydney Olympic trials representing Queensland as a marathon runner, which again is a very proud achievement that I'm like. And from there I involved into a bit of a coach of runners as well. I used to conduct middle distance, long distance running sessions at the University of Queensland 2 nights a week for 50, 60 runners, writing them programs. And that's sort of been a parallel to my golf tuition here over the years at Carbrook Golf Club. So it was an important part until I shredded my knee.
So the golf course has changed a lot over the last 30 years. Give us your thoughts on what those changes have been like and how they came about.
When I started here in 1991, we had a course that ventured along the river way down where the practice fairway is now, and it was just a very flat, very long floodplain. So anytime we had substantial rain, the course was out of play for many months. But when River Sands made us a deal, we designed that new holes on the other side of the course there on the eastern side, and we developed what is now a strong championship 18 holes that still not entirely flood proof, but we have developed it into a more modern style of golf course, strong golf course, interesting, very popular, rated highly amongst professionals and top amateurs alike, and with a lot of variation in hole design, long par fours, short par fours, plenty of dog legs, varying lengths of par threes. So we've tried to mix up the design so that it's not just a plain old up and down track.
So you've been the head professional of Carbrook Golf Club for 30 years. What would have been your biggest challenge over that time?
Well, the biggest challenge is moving with the times, becoming better educated, dealing with the challenges that each generation of members has produced in terms of, not a lot of knowledge in terms of product or awareness, and from there becoming a better man in terms of being able to fit golf clubs, profile members to know that what they needed in terms of balls, just getting smarter as the world's got smarter. Technology, computers, I would say that not my greatest, but I think I've worked hard to improve the skills there and tried to keep up and disseminate as much information to members as I can, just increasing my knowledge of the game and the industry over the years and the progression that we've made.
So over the years, you've helped many aspiring young people become trainee professionals, now known as associate professionals. How many exactly have you helped over the time?
Through my time at the club, there's been 12 trainees work through the system. It's been probably one of the highlights of this job, is being able to have these young people come and work and learn how to be better people and good golfers, and then apply their trade into the golf industry. Some have played on tour, many have worked in golf shops, many have become coaches, some have worked in the management side of things now. So it's been a privilege and a pleasure to help them achieve their goals of becoming a PGA professional, and 12 is a fairly good number of young people to work through the system.
So just to finish off the interview, Tony, you've been a head professional for 30 years. Now, if you had $1 for every time you've heard one particular phrase, what would that phrase be?
Well, if I'd collected $1 for every time I'd heard it, I'd probably retired about 10 years ago. But it's probably to do with the weather, and what's the weather going to do today when it's pouring rain or overcast? That's probably the most common cliche we get here. I'm sure everyone in this day and age can use their own GPS and see what the weather's doing. But that's a question that reverberates with Paul and I over many, many years.
So just in finishing up, what does the next 5 to 10 years look like for Tony Di Tommaso?
Well, it's been an honour to service the club for 30 years, work here. We've loved it. We've had some trials and tribulations with floods and COVID now and other situations, but moving forward, I'd hope to be part still of the growth of this golf club for the next 5 to 6 years, see how we develop and go along. I feel like I've still got a lot to give, plenty of energy these days, and look forward to watching the club become an outstanding member of the golf community and reach its full potential.